The beach is often considered a tranquil and serene paradise to be enjoyed, but it can also be a place of unexpected and bizarre events that alter your perception of it. From huge dead whales washing ashore to an entertaining alligator chase, this footage captures a range of peculiar and fascinating incidents that will leave you in awe of the mysterious and captivating world of the beach. Here are the 20 beach moments, if not filmed, no one would believe it. Number 20, Shark Rescue. After apparently failing to cross the shallows, a great white shark washed up on busy Whitecrest Beach in Wellfleet, Massachusetts. The incredible teamwork, determination, and humanity of dozens of beachgoers were on display when they frantically attempted to rescue a beached great white shark. Despite their efforts to dig a pool of water and a trench to pull the shark back into the ocean, the 14-foot sea creature could not survive. However, the rescue mission was a remarkable feat, with about 100 people, including wildlife officials, police, and lifeguards, joining forces with beachgoers to try and save the shark. They poured buckets of water on the stranded shark and managed to drag her into the water using a boat. Shark expert Greg Skomall attributed the beach stranding to the shark likely being trapped while hunting for food in the shallow waters. Stephen Work, a CNN Eye reporter, caught the incredible rescue effort by around 100 individuals. After constructing the trench, a rope was placed around the great white shark's tail, and the large crowd dragged the shark off the beach and into the water. According to a witness, the other end of the rope was attached to a boat in order to tow the great white out to sea. Unfortunately, the poor creature went belly up as soon as it hit the water. "There's only so much you can do. It's a fish out of water," Skomall of the Massachusetts Division of Marine Fisheries commented. "They're basically drowning." Skomall did a necropsy on the great white shark at the Chatham Fish Pier and found it to be in good health. According to the Globe, the injuries revealed on the underside of the estimated 2,000-pound shark appeared to be the result of the beach stranding, as the shark began bleeding internally under its own weight. He stated that it is very unusual, to say the least, for a shark to beach itself, and that it was most likely looking for food when it became stranded in the shallows. This was the second great white shark to wash up on a beach this summer. A 7.5-foot shark was hauled back into the sea and survived in a similar rescue attempt, as the tagged shark has been observed multiple times offshore. The incident highlights the unexpected events that can occur on the beach and the power of humanity's compassion and determination to save lives, even those of fearsome predators like the great white shark. Number 19. Osprey hunts shark footage of an osprey clutching what appeared to be a shark in its talons. People who captured it were initially shocked and couldn't believe what they were seeing. Doc John, a Florida photographer, recently captured a few photographs of the osprey swooping above Madeira Beach, only to discover later that the bird was gripping a shark in its talons. Meanwhile, the shark's jaws were securely clenched around a fish in a scenario that resembled some strange avian piscine matryoshka doll. While it's unclear which species of shark the osprey had caught, it was likely a juvenile. Ospreys, also known as seahawks, are fish-eating raptors that make up 99% of their diet, making it unsurprising to see them preying on sharks occasionally. These birds are able to maintain a grip on their prey while carrying it in flight using their reversible outer toes and spines behind their talons. While it is a common misconception that raptors cannot release their talons from their prey, ospreys are capable of dropping a meal, although this catch appeared to be small enough to be carried off easily. These fascinating creatures possess an incredible wingspan and size, enabling them to catch a wide variety of prey, including such formidable creatures as sharks. Indeed, it is a testament to their superiority in the skies. While it may appear to be a predatory role reversal, birds do occasionally prey on sharks. Fewer fish, including sharks, are immune to the talons and beaks of birds of prey. Then there's the video of a bickering swarm of pelicans over a shark. Number 18. Rescue of baby white shark. While avoiding sharks is generally a good idea while surfing, a group of surfers in Vic Bay, SA found themselves in a situation that required them to help a stranded juvenile great white shark. The surfers, along with the help of lifeguards, tried to guide the shark back to sea, but the rocks and waves proved too much for the tired animal. They quickly decided to carry the shark on a surfboard to a better location, where they released it back into the water and watched it swim away. It's great to see that the surfers and lifeguards didn't give up on their efforts to help the baby shark return to the ocean, even when their initial attempts failed. By using their knowledge of the water and the help of a surfboard, they were able to find a solution that worked and send the shark swimming back home. In the video, the surfers can be seen splashing water onto the trapped shark to keep it breathing until a lifeguard attempted to relocate the animal further out into the surf. When the shark became stranded on the rocks again due to crashing waves, the members of the group hoisted it onto a surfboard and ran it to a less rocky section of the coastline with deeper water. They were able to release it and see it swim away to safety. It's important to remember that even the smallest acts of kindness can make a big difference in the lives of animals and the planet as a whole. In a similar incident, a guy was astounded after discovering a live baby shark egg washed up on the beach, which he took home to hatch. Back in September 2022. Xander de Beer was walking along the beach in South Africa when he noticed the egg on the sand, which was not an unusual sight. However, the creature inside was still alive this time. De Beer told a news outlet that it's a shy shark, technically Haploblepharus edwardsi, also known as Happy Eddie. De Beer, who owns a fishing guide charter company, recognized the extraordinary find as he recorded it against the sun, plainly seeing the shark embryo moving around within. Number 17. 700 pounds Goliath grouper. A large Goliath grouper was found dead on the beach at Lassing Park in southeast St. Petersburg, as captured in a photo by a journalist. It was a 700-pound Goliath, and a crane was needed to move its massive body. While the exact cause of its death is unknown, it adds to the increasing number of dead marine life in the area, likely due to the harmful effects of red tide. Red tide is caused by the blooming of harmful sea algae that can seriously harm marine life. The high concentration of the organism Carenia brevis, which causes red tide, has resulted in at least 676 tons of collected debris in Pinellas County alone. According to the latest report, unfortunately, the situation does not seem to be improving, especially in Tampa Bay. Despite being a creature that might give some people nightmares, beachgoers found the washed-up giant fascinating. However, it is still unfortunate to see such a large fish taken away in this manner. Goliath grouper, sometimes known as Jewfish, can grow to be more than 8 feet long and 800 pounds. During the months of July and September, Goliath groupers congregate at specific locations to spawn. They discharge milt and eggs into ocean currents as a group to birth the next generation of Goliaths. These enormous groupers were previously so overfished in the southeastern United States that they were considered for Endangered Species Act status. These gentle giants didn't stand a chance as fishermen became better at detecting shipwrecks and reefs and used more sophisticated and destructive fishing gear. Rapid development along mangrove shores has also destroyed their juvenile habitat, resulting in a population reduction. Number 16. Giant squid. Recently, a giant squid carcass measuring nearly 14 feet long washed ashore on Scarborough Beach in Cape Town, South Africa, marking the second such discovery in the region this year. The previous sighting was reported in Kommetjie, about 6 miles away. On April 30th, 2022, the first giant squid, Architeuthis ducks, washed ashore near Cape Town on Long Beach in Kommetjie. That cephalopod was about 3.5 meters long. The longest gigantic squid ever seen was 13 meters long, and some studies predict that the creatures may grow to be 20 meters long, albeit no such squid has yet been seen. While some scientists argue that the Architeuthis genus may contain several giant squid species, the Smithsonian suggests that A. ducks is the only true giant squid. Without examining the Scarborough Beach squid's internal organs, it's difficult to determine the cause of death, although the creature's skin abrasion suggests it may have washed up on the rocky shore. It's possible that the squid ventured into shallower waters to feed as part of its diel vertical migration and got struck by a ship propeller. Although giant squid are generally found in frigid waters deep beneath the ocean's surface, they're occasionally seen on shores worldwide. According to Dylan Clark, a marine scientist and curator at the Iziko South African Museum, it's possible that the squid ventured into shallow, nearshore waters to feed and was hit by a ship propeller, but this is difficult to prove without witnesses. The squid was bigger than a person's foot, and it's unclear what happened to it. The scientists will examine tissue samples of the Scarborough Beach squid to sequence its DNA, detect pollutants and stable isotopes in its flesh, and determine its age based on its reproductive organs and statoliths. According to the literature, they come up into shallower waters due to a behavior known as diel vertical migration. In other words, they feed in shallower waters at night and migrate back to deeper areas during the day. Number 15. Bluefin tuna. Recently, a group of fishermen on the no-name boat hooked a massive bluefin tuna while on a marlin fishing trip off the coast of Destin, Florida. Weighing in at 832 pounds and 2 ounces, the catch would have broken the previous state record by 5 pounds and 6 ounces, but since multiple people helped fight the fish, it will not count towards the record. Regulations in the Gulf of Mexico limit the season for bluefin tuna to protect them during their spawning period. While yellowfin tuna and wahoo are common catches in the Gulf, bluefin tuna are typically caught further offshore, and reports of catching one are rare. Despite not breaking the record, the crew was excited to land such a massive fish. For an average fisherman, catching a tuna of this size would likely be a once-in-a-lifetime achievement. Such a catch is highly valuable and highlights the fishing skills required to make such a catch. Number 14. Huge whale carcass residents were shocked to discover a 40-feet-long whale carcass washed ashore in a mangrove forest in Samut Prakan, 30 kilometers south of Bangkok, on January 26, 2020. The massive 15-ton bride's whale was believed to have been dead for 5 days before it emerged from the Gulf of Thailand. The Marine and Coastal Resources Research Center sent a team of marine biologists to examine the carcass. The researchers identified the sea creature as a 6-year-old female bride's whale and will determine her subspecies by examining her tissues. The team will perform a post-mortem examination on the body after it has been transferred to an open patch of land. They hope to determine the cause of death of the whale, which remains a mystery. Chalatip Chanchompu, director of the country's Sea Research Center, said the whale's bones would be kept for educational purposes after its body is buried. Number 13. Giant oarfish. Recently, a group of fishermen caught a colossal oarfish in the city of Orca, Chile, which measured 16 feet in length. This caused locals to fear that it was a bad omen for tsunamis and earthquakes. A video of the catch went viral on social media, with netizens expressing their fear and awe at the sight of the giant fish. The 16-foot monster fish, caught by a group of fishermen in Chile, recently drove locals into a frenzy. The oarfish is thought to be a forerunner of earthquakes and tsunamis, and its sighting is considered a terrible omen in several cultures. These secretive creatures are the world's longest bony fish, living in the dark waters of the deep sea and rarely seen near the shore. Locals quickly gathered to catch a glimpse of the colossal, serpent-like creature. A video first posted on TikTok shows how the oarfish was hoisted up to show off its enormous size. Many people believed that seeing it would bring them bad luck. Several viewers speculated that the creature's proximity to the shore foreshadowed impending underwater earthquakes. This notion stems from legends that oarfish, which reside between 200 and 1,000 meters deep, only beach themselves on coasts before underwater earthquakes. However, scientists refute these claims. Oarfish are also known as rowing fish, and they are usually found in deep water, only surfacing when they are sick, dying, or breeding. Although they have been seen as an omen for natural disasters like tsunamis and earthquakes, there is no scientific evidence to support this theory. Despite their appearance and size, oarfish are harmless to humans. They feed on tiny plankton and have a small opening to their digestive system, lacking real teeth, but instead possessing flimsier structures called gill rakers to catch their prey. While they have occasionally been seen at the surface of the water, it is believed that they are pushed there by storms or strong currents, or they end up there when in distress or dying. Therefore, although the oarfish may look like a terrifying sea monster when in distress, it does not pose a danger to people or boaters. Number 12. Sand dollars. Sand dollars are fascinating creatures that are often found on the beach. They are flat, disc-shaped animals that belong to the sea urchin family and are known for their distinctive 5-pointed pattern. In August of 2021, thousands of sand dollars appeared on the beaches of Oregon, leaving experts puzzled about the reason for this occurrence. Sand dollars are a species of flat sea urchins that survive only for a few minutes outside of the ocean. Thousands of them were discovered on the southern end of Seaside Beach in Seaside, Oregon. When the afternoon high tide washed them in, the sand dollars became stranded along the high tide line on the south end of the beach. The Seaside Aquarium has alerted the public about the event, stating that multiple factors can lead to such an incident. However, the incident has caused the sand dollars to dry up and die. The aquarium is uncertain whether this is an isolated incident or if other beaches are affected. Sand dollars feed on plankton, which they break down with their 5 small teeth, resembling the shape of a bird. The animal can be found worldwide, and there are many different species, each with its unique characteristics. The aquarium warned against taking the fuzzy sand dollars home due to their unpleasant smell, and noted that removing live sand dollars from some beaches could result in a $500 fine or 60 days in jail. The urchins eat plankton, which they digest with their 5 little teeth. Because their teeth closely resemble the shape of a bird, many people refer to them as doves. The aquarium stated that the animal may be found all over the world, and that there are numerous species, each with its own distinct qualities. It claims that the greatest sign would be if the sand dollar is still fuzzy, to tell if the animal is alive. The sand dollars can survive for up to 10 years, and the growth rings on their skeletal plates can be used to determine how long they have lived. Number 11. Red tuna crab. The invasion of red tuna crabs on the southern Californian coast is due to warmer ocean temperatures, which have carried them further north than usual. These crabs, Pleuroncodes planipes, are not true crabs but are typically found in the water column from larvae to adulthood. Adult crabs have been known to move to the surface to feed on phytoplankton. The invasion is believed to be a warm water indicator, but whether it is directly related to El Niño or other oceanographic conditions is uncertain. While some people have collected the crabs for dinner, the Scripps Institution of Oceanography advises against it due to unknown toxins that may be present within the crabs. Pleuroncodes planipes is a bright red animal, up to 13 centimeters, 5.1 in long. It resembles a true lobster, but has a shorter abdomen. The biggest toxic algae bloom in the Pacific Ocean, which stretches from California north to Washington state, has also been reported, though it is unclear how it might be related to the red tuna crabs washing ashore. Donna Kalas, manager of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, who spotted the unusual sight, said, "They are all still alive. They are in the surf line and swimming up. Once they get this close to shore, they can't go anywhere, so they just wash in. They aren't strong enough to swim out." Many people's first thought was, can we eat them? Some people were reported to be bringing home red tuna crabs, but the Scripps Institution of Oceanography warns against it due to unknown toxins that may be present within the crabs. The scientists were particularly interested in the largest harmful algal bloom in the Pacific Ocean, which runs from California north to Washington state, though they are unsure how it is related to red tuna crabs. Other creatures, such as blue jellyfish-like creatures known as by-the-wind sailors and tropical fish like yellowtail and bluefin tuna, have also been spotted along the coast this year. Number 10. Orca stranded on a rocky beach. In December 2021, an orca became stranded on a rocky beach on Prince of Wales Island, Alaska. The stranded orca was discovered by the crew of a nearby vessel, the Steadfast, who alerted the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. The crew of the Steadfast used a seawater pump to keep the whale wet and safe from birds until help arrived. A NOAA officer and Alaska wildlife troopers later arrived and monitored the whale until it refloated as high tide came in. The orca was later identified as a 13-year-old juvenile Biggs killer whale, previously monitored by Bay Cytology. NOAA is examining photos and video of the orca to determine if it was injured. It is unclear how the orca became stranded or whether it was hunting seals when it got stuck. The incident was not believed to have been caused by the 8.2 magnitude earthquake that had occurred off the coast of Alaska less than a day before. According to NOAA spokesperson Julie Fair, at times during the stranding, the killer whale was vocalizing and other killer whales were spotted in the vicinity. According to Fair, NOAA is investigating images and footage of the killer whale to see if it was harmed. The killer whale was beached less than a day after an 8.2 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Alaska, but NOAA believes that was not the cause of the stranding. Arun Mullane, a TikTok user, tweeted a video of people helping keep the orca moist until NOAA came, and stated the whale was able to swim free once the tide returned. Mullane also said, "We heard there was a beached killer whale, so we went to go find it. NOAA gave permission to keep the orca wet and protected from animals until they could arrive. We were working on getting a hose and pump to work. In the meantime, we used buckets to keep the orca wet. The orca started getting more lively after we put water on it." Number 9. Giant ocean sunfish. A colossal ocean sunfish weighing an estimated 4,400 pounds or 2,000 kilograms and was recently caught off the coast of North Africa. Fishermen in Ceuta, a Spanish province bordering Morocco, spotted the massive mammal stuck in their nets. They immediately contacted Ostal, the head of Seville University's marine biology lab in Quetta, to research the massive sunfish. Following the initial isolation of the said creature in an underwater pen connected to the boat, the team used a crane to lift the fish briefly into the air. The fisherman who caught it called in marine biologist Enrique Ostale to examine the massive sunfish. It was too heavy for the 1,000 kilogram or 2,200 pounds scale and had to be briefly hauled into the air using a crane. Once measured, the fish was determined to be 10.5 feet, 3.2 meters long, and 9.5 feet or 2.9 meters wide. The weighty find resembled an oval-shaped pancake with enormous googly eyes glued to its sides, similar to other ocean sunfish in the species Mola. The sunfish was identified as a species called Mola alexandrini, also known as a bumphead sunfish because of the distinctive lump on its noggin. The M. alexandrini captured in Ceuta set a record as the largest sunfish ever caught in the region, in terms of its dimensions. However, the sunfish species can grow even larger and heavier, with the heaviest M. alexandrini specimen weighing a whopping 5,070 pounds or 2,300 kilograms, making it the heftiest sunfish specimen ever weighed. After measuring the sunfish and collecting photographs and DNA samples, the crew released it back into the sea, where it quickly vanished, according to the article. When they arrived, they were astounded, according to Ostale. He went on to say that they couldn't believe their luck because they had read books and articles about the size of a sunfish and had no idea they'd ever be able to view and touch it. Ostale and his colleagues were able to identify the fish's species based on the grooves on its flanks and its stumpy clavus, a rudder-like device on the back of the said animal. Number 8. White sharks, feeding on dolphin. A recent drone footage posted on YouTube captured the moment when two great white sharks were feeding on a dead dolphin just a few hundred yards off the coast of California, while swimmers were nearby enjoying the waters. The video shows one shark circling the dead dolphin before a second one joins in and begins to bite into the carcass. As the sharks were feasting on their meal, a boat nearby noticed the action and moved in closer for a better view. It's rare to witness such moments where a predator plays its role in balancing nature, as these sharks are known to be the cleaners of the ocean. Despite the close proximity of the sharks to the swimmers, there were no reports of any attacks or injuries. The video serves as a reminder of the importance of being aware of one's surroundings and the potential risks when in the ocean. Australian lifeguards are now regularly using drones to monitor and track sharks swimming near tourist beaches. The Little Ripper drone detects sharks using artificial intelligence, warning lifeguards, emergency services, and swimmers. The shark spotting drone has a 90% accuracy rate, but conventional human aircraft only have a 20% accuracy rate, making drones an apparent substitute. It is not the first time a drone has spotted a shark, and it appears that a drone may be added to the arsenal of lifeguards around the world in order to make the oceans safer. Number 7. Forest, in a ship. In Sydney's inner west, on the south bank of the Parramatta River, there are 4 abandoned ships, and one of them stands out from the rest, the SS Airfield. The ship, which was built in 1911 as a steam collier and served the American troops stationed in the Pacific during World War II, has been transformed into a floating forest. The 108-year-old cargo freighter is now surrounded by lush mangrove trees and is the main attraction of Homebush Bay, drawing visitors from all over the world. The bay was once a bustling trading post, but later became a shipbreaking yard, where decommissioned ships that were once used to transport coal and war supplies were left to decompose. Although there are several old ships in the bay that are already breaking down, the SS Airfield, SS Mortlake Bank, SS Heroic, and HMAS Karangi are still visibly floating and rusting in the waters. The SS Airfield is undoubtedly the most majestic, with several branches of thriving mangrove trees growing from the sides of the shipwreck. When nature creates its own wonder, it is truly the most beautiful thing in the world. This gigantic 140-ton vessel served as a steam collier. During World War II, it supplied American troops stationed in the Pacific region. The coal-carrying ship was decommissioned after more than 60 years of service. It was then relocated to Homebush Bay and will remain there indefinitely. The bay was formerly a thriving commercial station before becoming a shipbreaking yard. Decommissioned ships used to transport coal and supplies were abandoned in the harbor, where they floated and gradually decomposed. Though all 4 abandoned ships in the yard are a magnificent sight to behold, the airfield unquestionably has the most commanding presence. This is owing to the lush vegetation that erupted miraculously from it. It appears to be a gorgeous floating paradise, with many branches of healthy mangrove trees spilling from the sides of the shipwreck. When nature generates its own amazement, it is unquestionably the most beautiful thing on the planet. Number 6. Alligator Chase. A 22-year-old man named Tommy Lee had a scary encounter with an 11-foot alligator while tarpon fishing in Florida's Everglades National Park. He was tarpon fishing when he noticed an alligator emerge. Lee captured the close encounter on a GoPro camera and uploaded it to YouTube. In the video, Lee can be heard warning himself to be careful as the alligator emerges from the water and begins to chase him. Lee tries to put some distance between himself and the massive predator, but he stumbles and falls. He gets back up and continues to retreat as the alligator chases him through the tropical wetlands. Finally, Lee decides to call it a day and says goodbye to the tarpon fishing. Encounters like this are not uncommon in Florida, where alligators are a part of the natural ecosystem. For millennia, alligators have lived in Florida's marshes, swamps, rivers, and lakes, and they may be found in all 67 counties. Florida has seen enormous population expansion in recent years. Many residents seek waterfront properties and are increasingly involved in water-related activities. This can lead to more alligator-human contacts and a higher risk of risky encounters. Although many Floridians have learned to coexist with alligators, there is always the possibility of conflict. It is important to remember that these animals are dangerous and should be treated with caution and respect. While it may be tempting to get close to alligators to take pictures or videos, it is important to remember that these animals are not pets and can attack if they feel threatened or cornered. It is always best to give them plenty of space and observe them from a safe distance. Before we continue, please take a moment to click the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to turn on notifications if you want to be the first to hear about our upcoming releases. It's time for today's subscriber pick. We received a picture of a beach that appears to show a human-like figure in black clothing chasing after a group of people, leaving some to speculate that it may be an unknown creature from the ocean. We cannot confirm the identity of the figure or its intentions. What do you think it is? A human or an alien under the ocean? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments using the hashtag #subscriberspic. Number 5. Manta Ray. In 2016, a couple had an incredible experience while visiting Praia de Costa Dourada in Brazil. They came across a large manta ray that had become entangled in a fishing net. While some onlookers simply took photos, one man was attempting to free the creature. The couple's husband and the restaurant owner took charge, calling on others to lend a hand. Despite the stingray's rough skin causing some minor injuries to the helpers, they persisted and eventually freed the animal. About 15 minutes later, the couple witnessed another giant stingray jumping into the ocean, and they like to believe it was the same one they had just helped free. They describe it as a beautiful moment. Manta rays are big rays of the genus Mobula, formerly their own genus Manta. M. birostris can grow to be 7 meters wide, while M. alfredi can grow to be 5.5 meter wide. Both feature triangular pectoral fins, horn-shaped cephalic fins, and forward-facing huge mouths. They are classed as Myliobatiformes and belong to the Myliobatidae family. They have the most brains and the highest brain-to-body ratio of any fish, and they can pass the mirror test. Number 4. Walking starfish. In a video filmed by Zeb Halleck in Corolla, North Carolina, a Luidia clathrata sea star was seen walking slowly on the sand near the water during low tide. Halleck and others carefully relocated the starfish back to the ocean or tide pools for their safety. Talking to a news outlet, Zeb said, "It was early evening, probably around 6 p.m. or so at low tide. We noticed there were starfish walking around on the sand near the water. Some were in tide pools, but some were just strolling on the sand, very, very, very slowly. The ones that were on the sand we carefully relocated back to the ocean or a tide pool. Other people coming out to the beach were fascinated by the large amount of starfish and helped relocate the walkers to the water as well." According to marine biologist Christopher Ma, starfish operate using a unique water vascular system that requires fluid for movement and survival. Though some echinoderms can tolerate brief periods out of the water with residual water remaining in their systems, it's essential for starfish to remain in the water for survival. The starfish in the video was returned to the ocean shortly after being filmed, ensuring its safety and survival. While they may not be as cute and endearing when they're walking on land, it's important to remember that they are still fascinating creatures with an important role to play in their marine ecosystem. Number 3. Angry hippo. In a 2021 video captured in Kenya, an aggressive hippopotamus was seen chasing a tourist boat. seemingly with the intention of attacking it. The reason for the hippo's anger is unknown, but the tourists were fortunate enough to have a fast boat that allowed them to escape unharmed. It's alarming to imagine what could have happened if the boat had failed to start, or if the engine had stopped working in the middle of the chase. The video was shared by the Twitter handle Hidden Tips, with a caption that read, "Although accurate numbers are hard to come by, lore has it that hippos kill more people each year than lions, elephants, leopards, buffaloes, and rhinos combined. Don't get close!" The incident serves as a reminder of the dangers that wild animals can pose to humans and the importance of being aware of one's surroundings when in nature. While it may be tempting to get close to wild animals for a better view or photo, it's crucial to maintain a safe distance and respect their space. It's also essential to remember that animals may act aggressively if they feel threatened or cornered, and it's best to avoid provoking them. Overall, the incident highlights the importance of responsible and respectful wildlife viewing to ensure the safety of both humans and animals. The hippopotamus is the world's most lethal terrestrial mammal, killing an estimated 500 people in Africa each year. Hippos are violent animals with razor-sharp teeth. They are common in sub-Saharan Africa. They live in areas with a lot of water because they spend the majority of their time submerged to keep their skin cool and moist. Hippos are amphibious animals that can spend up to 16 hours a day in the water. Number 2. Dead white humpback. A rare white humpback whale washed up dead on a remote beach near Malakuta, Victoria, in Australia in July 2022. The body was discovered by local resident Peter Coles as he was kayaking past the beach. The humpback was a juvenile female and measured about 33 feet or 10 meters in length. Despite being pure white and marble-like, the experts do not believe the whale was an albino. Instead, it may have had leucism, a genetic condition that affects the ability of individual cells to produce melanin, resulting in patchy discoloration. Wildlife officers have sent tissue samples from the whale to Museums Victoria for DNA analysis to confirm the condition. Another possible explanation for the whale's white appearance is that some of the skin had fallen off due to decomposition. This can occur as a result of sun exposure and the lapping of the waves when dead whales float on the surface, exposing lighter skin beneath. Talking to a news outlet, Cole said, "It was pure white and had a marble-like appearance. I thought it looked like a sculpture. It almost didn't look real." The cause of the whale's death is still unknown, but experts suspect it could have been a vessel strike or disease. The authorities have decided to leave the whale's body on the beach to decompose naturally due to its remote location. When the deceased whale was discovered, some speculated that it was Migaloo, an albino male humpback whale that rose to fame in Australia after being spotted in Queensland in 1991. Migaloo hasn't been spotted in over 2 years, which suggests he may have died. However, the whale's size, gender, and lack of albinism rule out Migaloo, giving some hope that he is still alive. Number 1. Mysterious blue creatures. In April 2019, a mysterious blue creature caught the attention of residents in San Pedro when thousands of tiny sailboat-like blue gelatinous creatures washed ashore. These sea creatures, known as by-the-wind sailors, resemble jellyfish, but they are not. They are colonies of hydroids, tiny plant-like creatures that live in salty ocean water. Fishermen believe that finding these tiny creatures indicates that the sea has a healthy ecosystem. By-the-wind sailors belong to the class hydrozoans. By-the-wind sailors are known for their little sail that allows them to move across the water surface using the wind. The sail is constructed of chitin, which is the strong component that provides crab, insect, and lobster shell structure. The tiny air sacs in the blue base enable the little companion float. Surprisingly, these creatures can sail either left or right-handed, leaning one direction more than the other as they sail. Their sails keep them in open, offshore waters with millions of other ships, but high winds, currents, or storms can push them into the Salish Sea and nearby coastlines. Despite their unusual appearance, by the wind, sailors are a common sight in the open ocean, where they use their small sails to catch the wind and drift along with the current. However, it is rare for so many to be found washed up on shore at once. The cause of the mass beaching is not entirely clear, but some experts speculate that strong winds or ocean currents may have pushed them closer to shore than usual. While they may look intriguing, it is important to note that these creatures can sting and should be avoided by beachgoers. Thank you for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one.